Hello, hello, and it is 9:46, May 11th, Saturday. What did I say? We're down to the line again, but we're starting before 10 p.m., so I'm calling that a win. This is a video I promised you 2 weeks ago that I would make because you won the watermelon counting seed contest estimating. So we're doing the crash course on India like you requested. Yeah, hey guys, Win over here, he requested a crash course on India. That's what we're doing today. Now, for something like this, you need a man, a person with knowledge, with skill, with experience, finger on the pulse, years of learning, understanding. And even then, that guy or person might not be up for the task. We don't have that person today. I'm not that guy. I'm just a man. Though I claim to be perfect, I am not. So what I tried to do in lieu of not having all this experience, I said, you know what I'm going to do this week? 5 hours. 5 hours I'm going to set aside to learn, to understand, to read, to research, to watch some documentaries on India, understanding these questions, these big questions of what is India. And I didn't do that. What I did do was I watched the entirety of the Skibidi Toilet episodes, universe, lore. Not the multiverse. Want to quickly put that aside. Just the canon events of the Skibidi Toilet universe. Episodes 1 to 73. I'm talking episode 1, head pops out, toilet. Says Skibidi Toilet. Or no, says Skibidi the blah 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 blah. We're talking to episode 3, 73, where the boss battles with weapons beyond our comprehension and their motivations through the seasons of episodes 1 to 73. We've gone through dark places and desperate moments. Anyways, you're speaking to a very faulty person who does not have great attention. But that is what I've done with my time. It's Saturday. I don't want to lose money, so here we are. All right. So let's get into you asked to explain the regions of India. Now I'm not sure what you meant, but let's just talk about generally. Remember when that one girl from New Delhi, I think I told you about it. The girl from New Delhi, I told her I was from Pune, and she said, "Oh, you're South Indian." And I said, "No." And that was a rare moment where I was right against someone who was a lot more Indian than me. I'm not very Indian. South India is considered these 4 states, from my understanding. We've got Kerala, we've got Tamil Nadu, why is it in China? Tamil Nadu. We've got Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. I went to boarding school over here in Tamil Nadu. That's where I filmed my first video, right? That's South India. Where over here in Mumbai, or formerly called Bombay, I was actually just here in Surat, in Gujarat, with my family. And I live in Pune, over here. So this is kind of an in-between space, right? Because South India is right over here. My mom's family is from Goa, over here. That's where Portuguese colony used to be. That's not considered South India by most people. I could be wrong about that. This is considered South India. This is not considered South India. This is considered like West or like Northern India, or maybe South. I could be wrong. All of this with a pinch of salt as you go. Anyways, going up from there, we have Northern India, Central, I would say actually. This is East India. We have Bangladesh over here. And then we have Northeast India. So India stretches out over here a little bit into that area. We got Pakistan over here to the west. And up north, we have a great little place called Jammu and Kashmir, and what's called the disputed territories. More on that later, maybe. That's that. I'm just filling the basic requirements. that you gave me. You asked about, what about the stereotypes about India? Let's go through them. Let's start with number one. I didn't expect this when I first got to America, to get the call center type stuff. There's a lot of call centers that are in India that partner with like Western corporations to use them. Why? You got a large educated base here in India, and they speak English, right? English is big here because of the British. English is big here. So yeah, that kind of explains call centers. I've heard that now the call centers are going a little bit more to the Philippines. I got out of the call center life game, so I don't really have a ball in this game. Number two, colors. Yes, India is colorful. I don't know if these are stereotypes. Holi, the festival of colors. Yeah, it's the festival of colors. I got that right. I missed it this year. I was in town, I think. It was in March, but I missed it. Cows. Yeah, there's cows in India. They are considered holy. I don't know enough about Hinduism to explain why, but they are. And so they're just kind of around. They're here and there. They're on the streets. They're in the fields. They're around. Food. Spicy food. When I think of Indian food, I don't know what you think of. Spicy food. Not all Indian food is spicy, but they do like their spice. We do like our spice here. Is it dirty? I'll show a video of some street food here. I don't know. Like, are they wearing gloves? I can't remember now. I don't think so. Is there like a sticker from the CDC? No. Did I get food poisoning from it? No. I was fine. All right. So, I don't know. That food's delicious. I mean, street food is street food. What are we talking about here? I don't know. Columbus doesn't have street food. New York has street food. Mumbai has street food. And a lot of cities do. Street food is street food. You know what you're getting into. I don't have anything to say after that. There's also, I mean, you're in med school, so you know that there's there either are Indians where you are, or you've met them. But there's also a stereotype that Indians are big into STEM. You know what that means. It's weird to put a group of 1 billion people in a stereotype. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the big takeaway for all of this. It's like, are all Americans stupid and from Texas? That's all I gotta say for that one. We get to the last of the 3 topics that you wanted me to cover. The most contentious, probably, Pakistan and how it relates to India. This is a very complex subject, a very nuanced subject. There's a lot of emotions behind this one. I don't think Americans could understand. I'm sure other nations have. There may be one other country that they beef with. Pakistan and India, they go back, and there's warranted anger, I would say, around this topic. If there's anyone in the future or nearby watching this, I'm not gonna do a good job explaining it because I myself am not, again, fully aware on it. But I want to just briefly summarize it, just for my friend Win. And feel free to leave comments expounding, explaining. My bad. So let's just basically start with the idea that when the British, after World War II, were facing pressure from the nationalization, when the British were facing pressure within India and abroad to release the colony and let the people have their own country, there were 2 main political parties. There was Congress, which had famous figures like Nehru and Gandhi, if you're familiar with Nehru, but Gandhi, I'm sure you know. And then there was the Muslim League, which the Congress said that they spoke for all of India, and the Muslim League said they spoke for all of the Muslims in India. And when it came down to it, to the negotiations between the 3, the British, the Congress, and the Muslim League, it essentially led to the British saying, hey, why don't we just partition the country, have the Muslim areas be there? I'm not going to say the British said this. It seems complicated here about who initially came up with this, but they generally came to accept this idea of a partition plan for this western part to be called Pakistan, which had a somewhat of a majority of Muslims there, and then East Bengal, which would be a part of Pakistan. I'm not doing a great job, but again, there would be two countries: India, the country of India, and Pakistan, which would be on the west and the east. West Pakistan is known as Pakistan today. East Pakistan is known as Bangladesh. Bangladesh had to fight off Pakistan, West Pakistan, in order to gain independence. India helped them with that. India and Bangladesh's relationship has been somewhat stable throughout the years. There's been contentious for sure. Pakistan and India's relationship, there's been several wars. There's a kind of constant sense of hostility throughout the ages. There's been several major terrorist attacks that have happened within India. The biggest of them was the 26/11 attacks that happened here in Mumbai. That's November 26. These attacks, a lot of people claim that they are supported by the Pakistani government. There's been different evidence to say that. Moving forward, I don't think I've done a great job of answering all of your questions necessarily about India. And I think this is just a more of a video of like, what is someone who kind of doesn't really know a lot about India? It makes me realize how much I don't know about India. And I was born here and grew up here for a lot of years. I want to find out more of these answers, and I thank you for inspiring me with this. I think the big question I have from this, not as it relates to India, but in more abstract, is the idea of a nation state. Looking at the stories of how India pushed for its independence, how Pakistan came to be, and then how Bangladesh came to be. It's just interesting to hear this, to think about this idea of the mythology of the nation state, the myth, the story that we tell ourselves, that the politicians kind of told us, gathered us together to unite under like what category, under what identity. I think about that as it relates to Israel and Palestine throughout all these years. Similar notes, similar themes. Anyways, I gotta go. Thank you, Win, for this inspiration. I'll see you on Wednesday.